This video isn't a list of motivational quotes that I found over Pinterest. It's not some quotes from celebrities or from movies. It's the accumulation of things that I have learned through therapy, through multiple books on self-help, and through bad experiences that even though they tried to shatter my spirit, they absolutely could not. So I know what I'm talking about, and everything that I'll be sharing in this video is tried and tested. It is something that I've practiced for a long time, so it is practical, it is possible. However, some of these things might be hard to grasp. Some of these truths force you to unlearn old behaviors, old pattern of thinking, and that might be triggering to some. So if at any point you want to pause, just save the video and come back later. It's completely fine. So let's get started. One is, your thoughts create reality. It's not the other way around. And I know we tend to think that our thoughts are an accumulation of our experiences, but it's actually not true, because at some point you thought a certain way and your reality slowly and steadily started shifting from there, creating your present reality, which means you always have the power to turn it around. At any given point in time, you can choose to change your life completely. Number two, and this is a little bit hard to accept, love is not hard to find, it's hard to sustain. And that is because we all come with certain attachment styles, and unless you heal those attachment styles, you cannot sustain a happy, healthy relationship. And the keyword here is healthy. Number three is that your relationship with your parents as a kid will in some way interfere with your relationships as an adult. So what that means is that if you weren't paid attention to by your father as a kid, you will have an unhealthy need for validation from your partner. Number four is what you believe you attract. And that is because your brain just wants to be right and it will act a certain way. So for example, you might be in a relationship with the most loving, most kind, most patient person, but if your inner thoughts are always that you don't deserve love, that you're scared that the person will leave, guess what? The person will leave. And you know why? Because you will act a certain way to push them away. And it might be involuntarily, but you will do it. And the other person won't be able to stay, and your brain will be like,
I told you don't deserve love.
Now that you know that, you can actually change your inner dialogue and say that you deserve love, that you can make it work, that you're healing, that you're good, and that you can be in a healthy relationship, and you will act in accordance with those beliefs. Number five is looks matter and pretty privilege is real. I used to be a really ugly kid in school, so I certainly have, I'm not saying that I'm the most gorgeous person in the world right now, but I certainly have seen the way people treat me now, and it's really different from how they treated me before. That's not to say that you are screwed if you aren't insanely attractive, because your confidence, your fitness, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress up, your hygiene, all those things can make you appear so attractive. Number six is, if I just sit here, I am not thinking anything, I am not trying to be positive, I'm not trying to be negative, my brain will attract negative things without me doing anything at all. So we have to voluntarily and consciously put positive beliefs, positive thoughts in our head, and we have to stop the negative thoughts as we see them entering our brains, which is a bit hard and it does require some discipline. Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich mentioned the power of autosuggestion, and that is very close to affirmations, and that is because you are voluntarily putting positive thoughts in your head, because your brain, unless you actually discipline it, will just attract negativity. Number seven is, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. In his book Start With Why, Simon mentions how the part of our brain that actually takes action is the part of the brain that is controlled by emotions and not logic. And that is why the people who have actually been able to inspire, the people who have actually been able to sell their products, are the people who have influenced, who have connected with their emotions. Number eight, and this was a hard pill to swallow, self-love is important, but accountability is even more important. And in this book, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins mentions accountability mirror, and he would call himself out. You are fat, you are this, you are that. And I am a firm believer in being kind to yourself and always speaking positively to yourself. So this was a bit hard to accept, but you must be accountable. You cannot just pamper yourself every time. If there's something that needs to change, you must call yourself out on that. Number nine is, if you're a woman scared of investing, Simran Kaur in her book Girls That Invest mentions why women are often better investors than men. That is because investing is a game of patience, and women generally tend tend to put their money in and they forget about it. So over time, it compounds, and when they finally check it, they have more money compared to someone who constantly checks and makes the wrong decision in the fear of losing it all. Number 10, how people behave is not about you, it's about them. It's never personal. My therapist asked me to stop taking things personally, and oh my god, that changed my life when I finally understood what she was trying to say. I'm not saying you should let everyone walk all over you, but you can sympathize once you understand that the reason they're trying to pull you down is because they are scared of you, they're intimidated by you, or they're just insecure. If someone is trying to bring you down in office, it is probably because they're afraid you'll get the promotion before them. If someone constantly tries to criticize your appearance, it is because they're insecure about their own appearance and they're putting it on you, and that's their insecurity speaking. Even if someone's parents often compare them to you, they will always try to steal your thunder, they'll always try to steal your light, and that is not because you are a loser, it's not because of anything other than their own insecurities. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll stop worrying about their behavior. Number 11, love is powerful. Love can actually heal addictions. If you find the right partner, you can achieve so much more because it just raises your vibration so much. Unfortunately, it's not always in our control when and where we find the right partners. Number 12, money is energy, and your lack or anyone's lack of money is because of judgment and your biased opinions towards those who have money. Do you hate rich people? Do you think they're bad people? Did you grow up with the saying that money doesn't grow on trees? Your brain has accepted money to be something that's evil, something that'll change you into a monster, something that is not feasible for normal people. You feel like rich people are somewhere else and you are somewhere else. No, you're not. Their people, your people. Money is everywhere. There's abundance of it. You need to cure your relationship with money before you start attracting it. And just because you say,
no, but I want money, I need money, I always say I need money.
Honey, you might say you need money, but deep inside you believe that money changes people, that money is hard to handle. Not everybody can get money, that rich people are bad. Why would you attract something that you think makes people bad? Just think about it. And just for your sake of consciousness, no, money does not make people bad. People are already bad. Money makes them worse. Money also gives you the power to be independent. It also gives you the power to support causes that you like, to support people that you like. Number 13, and oh my god, you don't want to believe this, most illnesses are psychological. They manifest as physical illnesses when they're often ignored for too long. It's so weird, but it's true. And there's this book, Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, and she mentions every single disease with the cause, the psychological cause of those diseases. And that's not just headache or something, it's cancer, toothache, everything. And I've been trying this, my parents and I, we've been using this book to actually heal ourselves, and it works. She's mentioned these affirmations for those things. It's amazing because once you realize the psychological cause of your problems, it goes away much faster. Number 14, if you ignore red flags at the starting of your relationship, those red flags will become so annoying, so irritating, and they will become the cause of your breakup or the cause that you're stuck in a relationship and you can't get out of it. You must leave when you see red flags. And I'm not saying that you must not compromise at all. There has to be a limit, there has to be a balance. Compromise cannot become your second nature, and there are certain red flags that you must not ignore. Number 15, people suffer due to their lack mindset. There is abundance of everything in the world. There are opportunities, love, money, everything. They're abundant in the universe. But as long as you keep the lack mindset, and as long as you feel like there's never enough, there will never be enough. Number 16 is procrastination can be cured if you figure out what's scaring you about the task. Are you scared of failure? Are you scared of being criticized if you do the task? Are you scared of losing someone in the process? Let me give you an example. I'm a musician, right? And I had options of getting gigs here, but I didn't do it, and I was procrastinating on it. All I had to do was make a call. All I had to do was send them a portfolio, and I had everything ready, but I wasn't doing that. And it wasn't until I sat down and I journaled about it, and I was like, what am I scared of? And that's when I realized I was scared of calling them. I had this anxiety that I couldn't call people, and I was scared that if I actually got one gig, I would have to do this over and over again, which means that if I became someone, I would have to call people, I would have to network. It was my fear of networking, it was my fear of calling strangers that was was stopping me from doing something completely different. I mean, music, getting gigs and calling people is not related, right? But it was so related. It was making me procrastinate for so long. And once I figured that out, I was like, okay, now I know what's wrong. I can actually handle it. And I stopped procrastinating. Number 17, if you master your body, you can also master your mind. And David Goggins, in his book again, mentions that you only reach like 40% of your potential and then you stop. Your brain stops you, it massages your ego, and the only way to actually overcome that is through exercising, because over there you can actually see your limits. And if you've done 50 squats and you're like, you know what, I can't do anymore, and you push through for a while, you will see that your limits are much higher than just 50 squats. He says that if you master your willpower at the gym, in workouts, because that's something that's not abstract, you can actually see your limits and you can actually push through those limits, you also master your willpower that will help you in every other area of life. Number 18, your adversities often become your unfair advantages. What that means is, I had BPD, I had depression, I was diagnosed with all those things, and for the longest time I had to be under therapy. I had to deal with things that almost killed me, but they didn't. And that is why today when I make these videos, I know the pain people might feel, I know the triggers they might feel when I make these videos, and I'm much more aware of those things compared to someone who's never suffered, compared to someone who is making self-development videos without ever having to deal with things like that. And I can speak from experience when I say these things to you, and that is my unfair advantage, that I actually suffer in life. Number 19, if you want to go away from home, if you want to move out from home, if you want to leave the place you're living in, it is because you are losing connection with your inner self. You are not feeling at home within yourself, and unless you heal that, you can move as away as you want to, it won't help. The only way that'll help is when you finally connect with your inner self.
I just want to quickly apologize for the lighting if there's a huge difference when you're watching it, because I forgot to record 2 points like an idiot. So now I'm doing it again and the sun is setting, so there's a huge difference in lighting, but please bear with me. Let's go.
Number 20 is, and this isn't always about food, but when you crave something, that particular moment where you're like, I can't control anymore, I'm craving it so much, that is the peak of your craving. And if you just stop for a few minutes, the craving will pass. Number 21 is, your fitness journey demands patience and it needs to be healthy. Fitness is about health, it's not about the aesthetics, and if you do it just for the aesthetics, you will end up searching for things like
Getting abs in 2 weeks, how to lose 50 pounds in 3 weeks.
That's just not worth it, because you will end up doing things that will help you lose weight in like 2 weeks, and then you will end up gaining it all back, because fitness has to be a lifestyle or it just doesn't work at all. And we don't want to end up hitting the entire process altogether because of our lack of patience, right? So be patient and I promise you will see results. 22 is, whatever you fear will translate itself into your reality. For example, fear of poverty will leave you poor. Fear of old age will make you old sooner than others. The good part here is that fear is a state of mind, which means you can change that. And once you overcome that fear and change your mindset into an abundance mindset, there will be abundance of everything in your life. 23 is, you often separate from your passion because you're either afraid of poverty or criticism. Master them and you'll see that your talent alone has the power to bring you all the success and its monetary equivalent. Number 24 is, and I will get a lot of criticism for this one, people who aren't connected to their actions spiritually will often try to either force you into doing the same thing, joining them, or either question you a lot. So for example, if a man who drinks a lot isn't actually a drinker but he does so under peer pressure, or a woman who doesn't really like to smoke but she wants to own her independence and equality and she wants to make a point, those kind of people will always question you if you have a different viewpoint. So if you don't like drinking, they will always question you and they'll try to know why you don't drink, what's wrong. They'll try to get you to join them because it makes their consciousness feel at ease. If it triggers you, you might be doing something that you don't align with, and you probably know what that is, but I'll leave you to it. I have a special 25th point for those who stuck till the end, and it is that if you try therapy and it didn't work out, try again. I had to try like 4 or 5 therapists before I actually found the one that clicked, and once the person clicks, trust me, your life will turn around. Therapy is beautiful. You don't have to fall extremely ill to get it. You can go and you can be like, you know what, okay, I think I'm fine, I don't need it. But you must try, and you must not leave the entire process because of a few bad experiences. Do you leave dating? If you do, you shouldn't do that either. But you must always want to heal your inner self. So if one therapist didn't work out, don't quit the entire process. Find another one. That's all the 25 points. I've actually learned so much in these years. But the craziest thing that I've experienced is that I came from a point where I was so hopeless, where I didn't even want to live, didn't have any hope that it can get better, and absolutely didn't have the vision that it would get this better. Absolutely not. But I didn't give up. And I don't want you to give up either. I used to feel that, you know what, if I was normal and if I had friends who were depressed or in the same state I would know what to say to them. But guess what? I don't. Now that I've healed, I find it hard to experience their pain. I find it hard to find the right words. The only thing I'm trying to tell you here is that it gets better, and it gets so much better that you can't even experience the pain again, even if you try to, and I hope you don't try to. But you can't. I cannot experience that pain again. So please don't give up on yourself. Please try to apply these lessons, try to understand them, because these lessons aren't just things that I read somewhere and I'm telling you. These are actual facts that I have constantly observed through these years, through 5-6 years. Even the things I read in books, I have experienced them. I'm only telling you the things that I personally truly agree with. So please think about them, and I really hope you like this video. And if you want to rebrand yourself before the new year, here's my video on that. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.